didn't do any color corrections, so I should have.
Oh no,
Maybe...
it wasn't. It was the contrast, I think. Anyway, hi folks.
Hey
How's it
everyone.
going? How are the
It's going
peoples
well.
in the worlds doing the
The
things?
peoples in the worlds of today's
How was your day, Wumbo?
going pretty well. I need to update to use chat. What the hell? Okay,
You need to
Adobe Flash
update your
Player.
Twitch. Oh, your Flash.
Update my Adobe Flash Player. My
That's
day
weird.
went pretty well. I went to a job interview today at a restaurant that I won't be saying for now. And
Chili's, baby back ribs.
there's Chili's in Santa Clarita, but it's not Chili's.
Okay. Red Robin.
There is a Red Robin. Also, wait, how do you know this place? How do you know?
I'm just saying chains, man. There's if they have those up in Spokane and Tacoma, then I'm pretty sure they have them down in.
Fair enough. But just like, if you just simply Google search Santa Clarita, I'm pretty sure you're gonna find maybe some, or Santa Clarita restaurants. You could
That'd
probably,
be so
probably
weird
find
if you
some
Googled
stuff.
Santa Clarita and the first result was Santa Clarita's very own Red Robin. It's like, okay, that's not really a tourist
Well, the first thing
trap,
the first thing you're gonna find in Santa Clarita, if you look up Santa Clarita, is either map of the city, Santa
Right.
Clarita diet.
Oh yeah,
Six
that
Flags.
that Netflix show about the people that are like cannibals or vampires.
Yeah, the Netflix show I worked on.
All right, so Wumbo, we made it 57 episodes before today, so we're gonna break a streak today. This is gonna be our first
What are we gonna do?
scandal. This is gonna be the first scandal of the Gaming Etc.
Wait,
podcast.
scandal?
Scandal, and that is
Wait,
I'm
what's
not wearing
happening?
pants, and I have to go throw this tea
Uh-oh.
bag out. So I'm wearing underwear,
I think.
but
Dun,
I'm not
dun,
wearing
dun.
pants. So there you go, folks. This is the
So you
exciting
might
part of
see
the show. I got my
Nostal's.
headphones on now.
So you might see Nostal's tea bag while he's throwing away a tea bag.
Okay, I'm putting my headphones back.
Nah. Thank you guys.
I'll tell you about this Good Earth Sweet and Spicy Tea, Wumbo, is that it brews real quick. Like 2 minutes is a lot of flavor. You got to get that thing out of there after like 2 minutes. If you leave it in longer than that, it starts tasting like a liquid gummy bear. That's too much. That's too rich.
I don't really know too much about tea. I'm more of a coffee guy, and I know you drink more tea than coffee.
I really like coffee. The problem is I don't like caffeine. And then you have decaf, but it still has caffeine. It's this whole thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, coffee without caffeine is just like you can't do it.
Yeah, it's not really. You can even decaf has it, and
I mean, decaf has to have caffeine. Any coffee has to have caffeine.
no, it's bad news.
Bad news bears.
Sam's in the chat. How's it going, Sam? It's just me here. I think so. We typically don't get many people in Gaming Etc., but that's okay.
Yeah, no.
It's more of
At
a
least
news
live
heavy show.
anyway.
Our
Yeah.
tourist trap
How are
is
you doing?
Six Flags.
How are you doing, Colin?
I'm doing good. I'm starting my 4th week of school, so I'm a month in. I finally went through, and instead of just doing homework whenever right before it's due, like I today built the list of like everything I have to do this week in terms of classes. So I actually have it mapped out. I'm gonna do
That's
that every
good.
Sunday from here on out. And then I'm building a personal schedule for myself, so I have like time to just not freak out during the day, because that's cool.
Yeah, stress is probably the worst thing for every college student.
I mean, just people. Stress is just bad.
Well,
Stress
just
is
people
bad
in
news.
general. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's. I'm
Oh,
doing good.
That's good, man. I edited a short film for my film class, and
So I heard about that.
it went up.
I think you mentioned it in the
Yeah.
chat or something. Are you?
Oh yeah.
Are you able to talk about it or not yet?
I mean, a little bit. Just the fact that we didn't exactly have. I'm not going to say we didn't have a lot of time, because we did have time. It's just that in retrospect, while editing it, we kind of rushed some things, and hopefully the next project, which I'm directing, hopefully we could take a lot more shots, do a lot more. We're not shooting audio because it's a music video that's not needed.
Clever, I like it.
Okay. And the song we're choosing was chosen by the director of photography, because we were just shooting ideas.
Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. No,
No, it's that would be a funny music video for a concept that we're going with. It's Sinister Kid by the Black Keys.
Okay. So what's the prompt? Did the professor be like, you need to go shoot a music video, or?
That's basically it. Just shoot your own music video. You can shoot it on campus or outside of campus. And the reason why the last project had to be shot on campus, we couldn't shoot it outside of campus.
Right.
But in this one, we're mainly shooting it on campus and on location. One location I could think of.
Okay.
I'm also getting a friend of mine to kind of be the lead actor in it, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm really hyped for it. We're going to be shooting next Friday, and the Friday after that, then we'll be doing a lot of editing.
So do you guys
since I'm
have
directing
like a tone or an atmosphere you're going for, or are you just kind of winging it, or?
It's a little bit. We already have the basic idea though. As soon as the main concept is we have this kid who's basically the bully who's also beaten up at his house, or not his house, but like kids across the way where he lives.
Right.
Basically, when he's walking to school, the opening, he gets beat up by a bunch of neighbor kids or something. Then he feels like he needs to be the tough kid. Now at school, he's basically the guy who's feared.
Wait, is this the same kid that says "Don't mess with me, I have the power of God and anime on my side"? Is this the same kid?
Maybe.
Okay, because that'd be super cool if like this is like a
if he walks up with like a wife with Hello or something like that.
Right, then, like sure. Maybe this is a prequel story to his video. That just came out of context. We saw it on Twitter, but maybe there was more to it.
Maybe.
There's a cinematic universe.
And
that's really cool though. So is there a length you guys are shooting for? Just the length of the song?
The song's 4 minutes.
Okay.
The song's 4 minutes, so we're going for 4 minutes. So.
That's a lot. 4 minutes is a lot.
Definitely. But yeah, I'm really really excited to see what me and the crew of people I'm working with are going to do. And
any chance it goes up on iWombo223?
Or that or Wombology Studios or something like that. I'm not sure. I'll get the permission of everyone else who's involved with this to simply do it.
Okay. And then the current short film, that one's done. That's.
Oh, that's done. Yeah, I don't know if I want to. I don't think I can release. I don't know if I want to release that on YouTube or not. It's not. It's okay.
I mean, no one's expecting like Citizen Kane.
No. It's not that. It's just. Also, I didn't direct it, so I didn't write or direct it, so I don't have permission to do it in the first place. So.
That makes sense. Yeah. You don't want to make people mad. Better to just
No, of course not. Yeah, ask first before you do anything. Yeah. Anyway, catching up in the chat, we see I'm so innovate.
That's a good name. I'm so
I'm so innovative. Hello. I'm so innovative.
Is this like radioactive?
Sam also said,
but I'm so innovative. Is it like that?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sam also says
Arrow season 1. True story.
Really?
Towards the end when it's actually a spoiler, but let's just say characters are doing kisses when that song plays.
Making a kiss
to each other.
Is it ordinary kissing or advanced kissing?
It's a little of both. Okay. Sam, so I decided to give my clay project to Miles as a present. He'll love it if I ever figure out the art. That's nice. Awesome, Sam. That's super cool.
Nice of you, Sam. And I'm so just talks about Sam, and that's about it. Okay. So we chose a couple news stories, I chose a couple news stories tonight. And
five,
one of them being
to be precise.
Which
is
is
2.5 couples.
4 of them I didn't know about, and the 5th one, or the very first one that we're going to be talking about, I knew about like instantly once the YouTube video came out. And I actually do want to fund this one. The Cyanide Happiness returns to Kickstarter for a video game project, quote unquote, adventure game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. They have my interest.
This is a bit of an old article, and they're saying that they weren't funded, but yeah, they are completely funded right now.
Okay.
So yeah, less than half a year ago, securing $3.2 million for the hit game Joking Hazard, hilarious comic content website Cyanide Happiness or Explosion Entertainment has returned to the reward-based crowdfunding crowdfunding platform Kickstarter to raise $300,000 towards new game project Adventure Game. Which, doing a little bit of research, which I don't have the prompt up, they basically hit their goal. I think they're about $500,000 right now.
Okay, so what is it? Is it in browser? Is it console?
No. The game itself is a point-and-click adventure game based in the universe of Cyanide Happiness. Basically, the apocalypse is going off, and you're a high school student trying to go around it. And you see a bunch of characters from the Cyanide Happiness universe, and that's all we really know about right now. Okay. And the game is just called the game itself is called the Cyanide Happiness Adventure Game. Currently, right now, it has 12,055 backers. It has 10 days left, and it has $461,097.
I don't really know what to make of that. This reminds me a lot of Stick of Truth, first and foremost.
They basically, in the Kickstarter video, they straight up said, yes, we were inspired by South Park Stick of Truth.
Right, which is fine, and it's cool to get out ahead of that. And there's another story tonight that deals with kind of a similar issue that we'll talk about. But 300,000 is a really weird budget to me because that's fairly big for indie, but that's nothing for big budget gaming. I
I
don't know.
think I mean Cyanide and Happiness themselves. The first season of Cyanide and Happiness was done at Kickstarter, but the second and third season was produced under CISO Entertainment.
Okay.
Joking Hazards, that they're making a lot of money off of that. I'm actually interested in buying the entire pack of Joking Hazard, which is $50. So they're making money off of that, and of course ad revenue and stuff. So and basically, I think this is just like
Now, Joking Hazard is a card game or a board game or?
Joking Hazard is a card game in vein of Cards Against Humanity.
Okay.
Which yeah, I really want to play it. But basically, I think the reason why they're doing Kickstarter because although they have money, they definitely do. I think this is just in case money or security money, you know.
No,
Also,
that
or
makes
maybe
sense. I get it from a business perspective. I don't know what this game is. What's the
the
game?
game is well, it's a point and click adventure game set in the world of Cyanide and Happiness.
Okay.
And yeah, that's all we really know right now. There's going to be a bunch of side quests. Apparently, a lot of the stretch goals are basically, from what I read, it was a Sad Larry stretch goal, a Ted Bear stretch goal. Which, if you know Ted Bear, he's the best survival expert out there.
He's the best, like no one ever was.
Definitely, he's the best survival bear expert out there.
Okay. I think I'm noticing, by the way, I think there's about like a 2-second delay between my talking and your talking. So we just got to keep that in mind.
Oh, sorry about that.
No. It's nobody's fault. It's something because I keep.
No.
Yeah.
That's weird. Anyway, the two videos that they produced for the Kickstarter video, or for the Kickstarter, was pretty funny, including the game's developer and one of the creators of Cyanide and Happiness. So, by all means, if you guys are very interested in getting this, it's $25 for the download code, or basically the digital code. The site goal, the pre-order game essentially. The site goal I think was 2018, and Cyanide and Happiness has been really well, or Explosion Entertainment has been really well with Kickstarter to begin with. In fact, if you actually fund the game, you're part of a forum basically with the developers.
Okay.
So,
but they're developing this internally.
No, they have an outside developer.
Okay.
Who is seeing it? Who's he basically does an interview in the Kickstarter videos.
Okay, that makes me feel better. I don't have a big, strong emotional attachment to Cyanide and Happiness. I've seen a few of the videos and I've read a couple of the books, and I think it's fine.
I find them to be very funny at some points. Sometimes I'm not going to say hit and miss. There are some of the videos and some of the comics that I don't like all the time, but I really do enjoy most of Cyanide and Happiness. So
I mean, they play with the boundaries of humor like any other good
definitely
comedic series, right? It's I feel better knowing that they're doing it externally because it seems like we keep hearing about people who are like, and by the way, we're gonna do a video game right now, and it's like it's not the same as everything else. It's a very different medium, you know. You can't just jump in with no experience. But okay, we'll see how this goes.
We'll see how this goes. I'm tempted to dump the $25 into this. So
my philosophy with Kickstarter is if you're going to put money up for a project, you have to assume you're never going to see a return on it. You don't pay because you want a copy of the game. Pay because you're okay with that money disappearing. You're just trying to support the thing.
I like Cyanide and Happiness, and plus we already see a bunch of gameplay footage in this beforehand. So
okay.
I trust them with my money if I do choose to basically contribute to this thing. Plus, being a part of the developer forum and stuff, it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, best of luck. I mean, they're well over goal, so we'll see. Obviously, funding is not an issue. It's just a matter of whether or not, they end up making a good game. I will say, I don't know the size or the scale of the game they're trying to make, but 300,000, or I guess 500,000 in this case, is not a huge budget for a game. So they need to be careful.
For what I'm guessing, this is going to be maybe. They said it was going to be released for maybe for console if it reaches the stretch goals, or obviously Steam, and they said maybe a mobile release.
Okay.
So
point and click can be a weird fit for consoles if they're not careful. You kind of have to.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, look at the Walking Dead series or the Telltale games.
Yeah. Telltale's they've been. I don't know. It's hit or miss.
It's not just hit or miss. It's just the formula has been kind of just like. Off of a little tangent, the Telltale formula has been—they're basically beating a dead horse right now.
They were beating a dead horse 3 years ago, and now we're 3 years past that. It's like I don't even know what the metaphor is anymore. It's like I played Batman episode 1 this week, and I was like, okay, feels very much like Walking Dead, and like every other Telltale game I've ever seen
Jeez.
played or played.
Okay, maybe. I mean, it obviously the formula works, but at the same time, guys, you need to have a new engine sooner or later because this engine's fucking glitchy.
Well, supposedly they're incrementally updating the engine, but when
Okay.
my computer, my $2,000 gaming computer, flips a lid because this game's stuttering along at substandard frame rate when it's
That's
a point and
just-
click advance. It's not doing anything. It's
the game's not that graphically intensive. Plus, Telltale is like Bethesda. They're known for their glitchy games.
Yeah, they really are. It's true.
Yeah.
All of it.
Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, tangent aside, excited for this game. If you were interested in funding this, please fund this. Even though, yeah. And that's about it.
Okay. Catching up in the chat, Sam says, my uncle came over and put on Supernatural. They're starting at season 4. Never seen season 4 of Supernatural. I saw just season 6. It's the only season I've seen in my life. That's good.
Okay.
Do you guys know how to get blood stains out of belts? Blood stains?
Wait, what? What the hell? Blood stains, okay.
I don't know. Try lemon juice and baking soda, says Sam.
What would that mess up coloring? And it's a lot of, oh damn.
1.5 liters of blood. That is a lot of blood.
That is a lot of blood. The human body
almost
contains
2
like
liters.
what? That's almost 2 liters. Which how much blood does the human body have? Like 10 liters?
I thought it was like 6. I don't know. Let's look it
I could be
up
wrong.
because no one looks at my search history. How many liters of blood does
Shut
a
up.
human body have? Oh no, I'm dead serious. So an average.
I thought that was a
body,
jab at me. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. An average adult body with a weight of 150 to 180 will contain approximately 4.7 to 5.5 liters of blood, which is between 1.2 and 1.5 gallons.
Oh, huh.
So the more you know.
I guess it was way off.
No, you weren't.
You
that
were
far.
closer.
I said, what did I say, 6? Yeah,
You said 6. I said 10.
I wanted to say 3 because I thought
you-
it was 3, but then I was like, nah, that's way too low.
No.
But, all right. Okay. Well, best of luck.
I
I'm
heard
so
about
innovative.
the
Hopefully
whole-
everybody's okay.
And best of luck.
Oh,
All right.
it's a buttload of blood.
Want to move on?
Sure.
Buttload of blood. All right. Next story tonight is
PUBG.
from. Well, it's about once again PUBG. This is a bit of an interesting story. Player Unknown's Battlegrounds dev threatens Epic over Fortnite's similar new game mode.
Yeah, this is
Odd,
weird.
but considering, I mean, I get why they're doing it because it's for what I've seen with the little video that they show off over here. For what Fortnite's new game mode, and it looks very similar to PUBG.
But here's what's interesting,
So,
and I'm sure I'll read the story, but from what I remember about this earlier in the week, basically what happened was Fortnite came forward and said, we love PUBG, we love what they're doing and how successful they're being, so we're going to take that and take the inspiration from that and make a similar mode in Fortnite. They were very, very upfront about the fact that this is similar to PUBG, which, by the way,
And then
did not invent the Battle Royale, game mode. Obviously, we had stuff like
obviously
H1Z1
not.
before it.
Of course, but they're still.
They got out in
they're
front
still-
of it. Fortnite was very, very outright about the fact that, hey, this is definitely inspired by PUBG. And then PUBG responded, hey, we were not met by this. This seems very weird. This does not sit right with us. I feel like PUBG, at the end of the day, is the one that looks bad in all of this. Because Fortnite was very, very upfront about the fact that they are
They're making a mode like that. I get your point there.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, you can't really argue with that too much. It seems like PUBG's maybe a little bit overreacting to this. And like you said, DayZ, which is basically the first...
DayZ, H1Z1, yeah.
DayZ, H1Z1, basically games that precurse to PUBG, but are similar open world games where you scavenge through a lot of resources, hang out in groups.
Well,
let
and
me
like
think.
going back to concept, like what about just the movie Battle Royale or Hunger Games to the American audience? It's like stuff like this. This is a concept that is not new.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the article for a sec?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for a sec. Brendan PlayerUnknown Green. Agree? Okay. Invented the battle royale game mode long before he turned it into a standalone game with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Really?
I didn't know
Did
that.
he do
That's
that?
interesting.
I didn't know that either. If so, then okay. But for all battle royale modes and games that exist, PUBG has been far more successful. The game has smashed all time records on Steam, which we did cover last week on Game Etc. It enjoyed a Metacritic meteoric rise with no insight. And you expect other companies are looking to capitalize on the interest in PUBG. But the game's developer is unhappy with the new particular approach with Epic's game is taking with its new mode, Fortnite. Basically, the article continues by saying what we just said.
Right.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, this comes down to...
Oh, I got it.
Are aspects of this mode patented? Do they have legal right to be the only ones who are using it? And if the answer is yes, then they could sue Fortnite. I don't think it fits for them to do so because PUBG is the current king, you know? Coke doesn't sue Pepsi, you know?
Yeah, you're right about that. Plus, Coke and Pepsi do taste a little bit different. So
one's better. I'll let you figure out which is which. But... yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It all comes down to whether or not it's patented, had this. I guess.
If this patented, like you said before, then by all means they have the right for doing this. But if not, then well, they don't really. I'm not going to say they don't have a leg to stand on because that's like just saying every single Call of Duty clone, Activision should be suing them over that. You know.
I mean.
Or.
An analog to
every
this
MMO
would
should be doing Warcraft.
An analog to this would be someone who says, yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Gaming Etc. podcast. I watch every episode. I love Wumbo and Nostal. So I'm doing my own show called, Television Etc.
Movies Etc.
And it's a very similar overlay with a very similar style and format and things like that. But they didn't consult us first. Do we have a patent or a locked down right to do this show so that no one else can? Absolutely not. That said,
no, in fact,
that's still kind of rude.
It's a little. It doesn't. No, it's basically taking assets. They didn't really ask permission to begin with to do it. So
yeah, I don't know.
I get why they're a little bit.
I don't think they're ripping code from PUBG.
No, they're not. They're taking similar aspects from PUBG and putting it into their own game.
Oh, aspects. So, I heard assets. Sorry, like ASS.
Oh, aspects.
Got it.
Like going into an open world, killing a bunch of people, jumping out of a plane with a parachute, jumping into this empty plot of land that's a large area.
That's PUBG. Yeah.
That sounds a lot like PUBG.
But
yeah, I can see why
like H1Z1.
Yeah, that's true. So, I'm not going to say this is. I mean, on both sides, it kind of seems like it's kind of bad. It looks bad in PUBG for doing this, but at the same time, they have a reason for this.
I think it'd be better if PUBG just didn't engage. I think the fact that they're publicly acting hurt about this, I think looks bad for them. I get why they're doing it. I understand it, but I don't think it shines well.
You can't really stop, imitators from coming.
No, I mean, yeah, that's the nature of things.
It's like saying, I don't know, an imitator to Overwatch's Lawbreakers or something like that.
I guess Lawbreakers has been in development for quite some time, so I don't know.
Lawbreakers?
Yeah, this is the Cliffy B game, right? Or I'm sorry, Cliff.
Yeah, he goes by Cliffy B.
He doesn't anymore. He gets mad when people call him Cliffy B now. Did you hear about that?
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're right about that. Sorry. No, all right. Some random imitator of Overwatch comes out 2 years after Overwatch is made. So,
but why?
It looks very similar.
Because the Overwatch players aren't going to swap from Overwatch to that. So it's like, what's the strategy?
The point is, I think the point is that they have a similar looking game that might catch the interest of players of Overwatch. In this case, for Fortnite's case, they have a similar looking game mode. It's not particularly the entire game, a game mode that looks similar to PUBG, so it might grab attention to players of PUBG. But at the same time, players of PUBG will be playing PUBG.
Yeah, that's what I don't get about the imitation game of if another company already has a time and financial lead on a project, and by the way, has a market base. There are, paying customers that are playing this game happily a lot of the time, many hours a week, that are already happy with that game. What does an imitator stand to gain? Because people aren't going to leave the original, for all intents and purposes, better version, more funding, more of a player base.
To market off of to market off of that audience, so they can cater to them to make a slightly different experience, but at the same time, you're taking elements from the base game.
Yeah.
I think I could, like I said, Call of Duty. Another example I could think of is have you ever played Dante's Inferno for the
I haven't.
PS3 and 360? It's essentially a game where you play. It's based off of the book on Dante's Inferno, and it plays almost exactly like God of War.
Mm.
It's a different setting and has some different aspects and different. It has some different aspects in its gameplay, but at the same time, it plays very similarly to God of War.
Right.
So, in fact, it was released like a couple months before God of War 3.
Yeah, I don't know. I know this is the way markets work. I know that when someone does something huge, everyone else wants to jump on board. In the long term, I don't really see who stands to win here. I think it's just bad for everybody.
I think the company who made it first kind of seems like they're winning.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does look kind of bad for PUBG. Or is the company known as PlayerUnknown, or who's the company who made PUBG?
I don't remember. That's
Developer
not the name. Bluehole. There we go.
Or Bluehole.
Yeah.
It says in the article. Thank you, GameSpot.
Thanks. GameSpot.
Yeah. Thanks, GameSpot, for once. Seriously though, you can't stop imitators, and PUBG does look a little bit bad, but at the same time, I get why they're mad. So
yeah.
I can't give a straight answer to this. I could just say that good luck for Fortnite. Not the right, but you can't stop imitators.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Unless they patent it, and I don't think that's going to happen because too many other people already have a claim to it. So I will say I'll buy PUBG when they add a recurve bow to the game. And
I know you've said that, and if they listen to their audience, PUBG developer watching this possibly,
they're big fans of the Gaming Center podcast. Over there,
then yeah, the game's like
Productions, Theaters, Corporation.
The game's like $30, right?
Yeah, I think it's $29.99. Yeah.
Okay. Also, I was gonna say something, but I totally. Oh yeah, this kind of reminds me of if they end up patenting their game mode. It reminds me of when Sega went to court to I think it was Fox Interactive over Crazy Taxi and Simpsons Road Rage over the arrow that's over the head for while the car's moving along. The pointer area. Yeah, they actually went to court because that arrow was patented.
That's the fascinating thing about intellectual property. There is a line, and that line is always moving and never entirely clear, especially to the average person. But somewhere in some court or patent office, they decided where that line is, and the second you take one step over it, it is technically illegal. And to the average person, myself included, some things look way over the line but are not legally over the line, and vice versa.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
Very, very weird. Oh shit! Sorry, I hit my camera.
No. You want to catch up on the chat?
Oh, of course. Where were we?
Says, I don't believe that would mess up the coloring. I usually wear a black GI because I was worried about bleeding on a white GI, though. There's a lot of blood to lose then, like losing a fifth of your blood. Yeah, I tore my partner's arm almost off. It's a purple GI that's messed up. Lemon juice and baking soda. Thanks. 50-50, or sprinkle baking soda over the stains, then spray over lemon juice on it. What's PUBG? PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
A very popular open world game where you could. I haven't even played it myself, but I've seen gameplay of it. So
right. Yeah. What if you never heard of those people you're using similar assets from? It doesn't matter. You're still using a concept that someone already has a commercial and legal right to use exclusively themselves. So it's
like saying if another company made a Mario. It's like saying a company made a game called Super Mario Sisters.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Now
which actually did happen.
They might do Mega Mary Sisters or something like that.
Mega Mary Sisters, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Nintendo went to court to some computer developer for actually doing that. It was called the Gianna sisters.
My God, Nintendo really gets down on that. That is for Let's Plays
It's
and YouTube videos and fan
that
projects,
too.
and
God.
Nintendo's very, very. And I think it's because Nintendo's, it's a company that's more aimed at a
They're-
younger demographic, and so they want to have a harsher control over the content that is and isn't associated with them.
it's
But-
basically their money making. It's their golden goose. It's the reason why the company is still relevant, and it's really hard to go around Nintendo's copyrights. There's a reason on my YouTube channel why I haven't reviewed a Nintendo or a strictly first party Nintendo game yet.
It's because it'll get taken down.
Because it will be taken down.
Yep.
As tempted as I was to review maybe Sonic Mania, which got canceled. Sorry about that, guys. By the way, I do have something planned for Halloween.
Ooh,
for a
spooky,
game.
scary skeletons.
Spooky Scary Skeletons. It is actually a game that you have suggested, Nostal,
I don't remember
in the
what
comment
that
section
was.
of one of my videos.
But cool.
I'll give you a hint. It's in space.
Jason X.
The
movie.
Fuck, I forgot the movie existed.
Yeah, me too.
No, it's a movie in space. It's a game in space.
Wait, like the game is
That
in
you hate.
space, or the game takes place in
The
space?
game is in space that you hate.
So like you threw your copy into the sky and it just floated out into space?
No. The game is set in space, and you hate the game with a burning passion for 1,000 suns.
Well, it narrows it down. Sam says, I'm sorry I'm not all here tonight, guys. I'm dealing with a couple of things right now over on Discord. Sam, you're totally okay. Nothing
That's
to apologize
fine.
for.
That's fine, Sam.
Overwatch
Plus, you have another
is just a
stream to head
revision
over here.
of TF2 says I'm so innovative. I mean, yeah, to a
Which-
certain extent.
yeah,
Everything's
that's
iterated
true.
on something else, Nothing's
Definitely,
totally original.
No. There's always a set base on. Sam, shut the hell up. Sorry. What I was trying to say was basically like Super Mario Bros. For example. That's just a set basing of what a basic platformer is, and people moved on and added more stuff onto it. Essentially, yeah. Sam basically said the game that I was going to review.
Well, you didn't exactly, play it close to the chest. It was like, it rhymes with Fred's Place. It's like, okay, well, but all right. Shall we move on?
Of course. All right. Next story tonight is involving Nintendo and copyright takedowns. Once again.
Nintendo took a thing down that they didn't like.
Oh boy. What? How shocking. Super Mario 64 Online taken down by Nintendo copyright strikes. Shocker. Although this does actually sound like a
on
really
this
cool
coming
idea.
out, or no?
I didn't really know about this until maybe about an hour and a half ago, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay, I think I heard about it a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't really make much of it. It was like, I think there was like not really much you could do there, because like the multiplayer didn't really affect the game at all. It was just...
No, it's just an online version of Super Mario 64.
Right.
So, yeah. Nintendo made multiple copyright strikes against a well-known ROM hacker who most recently revealed Super Mario 64 Online. One of the copyright strikes took out his Patreon account. Oh, God.
Wow.
Okay. I could see... Well, if it's just about this, then I could see why Nintendo's a little, about it.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, goddamn Nintendo. Sega doesn't give a flying fuck when people remake Sonic multiple times. Because it knows it causes a lot of attention.
Yeah,
So
it's. I wonder if some of it might be the cultural difference.
That too.
Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. It's not surprising, but it always makes you feel kind of weird.
Yeah. I'm gonna butcher this goddamn. Can you say this?
KZMNR. I don't know. KZMNR.
K's my man, my woman. I don't know what.
Your boy / girl
whatever.
/ non-gender conformist KZMNR.
Anyway, M&R, whatever. In comments to Polygon said Patreon told him, Mr. Nar, copyright claims from Nintendo were behind that takedown, even though he said his Patreon donations were 100% independent of Super Mario Online.
Okay, let's stop there for a second. What does that mean?
basically none of the money was going to Super Mario 64 Online. This was more of a project, I guess, for just himself.
But again, what does
But
that?
at the same time, but
What's his Patreon? Yeah, see this. Yeah, I don't know.
This seems more like this seems like a possible Star Wars Battlefront 3 situation. You remember that?
I mean, I know Battlefront 3 was in production. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Yeah, no, people got the assets for Battlefront 3 because it was basically, they basically got the assets for Battlefront 3, started a Kickstarter, and tried to release it on Steam.
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
But EA took the Kickstarter down, or not the Kickstarter, took the, I guess it was a Patreon? Took the Patreon down because it was violating all the copyrights and stuff.
Well, and because they still own the assets. That's still their intellectual
property.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly, so they couldn't release it.
Yeah, so here's my thing. Patreon is this weird middle
It's a gray
ground
line.
that is, you are not technically paying for a project. You are paying for a creator to make their projects. It is, I'm paying for you to run your hot dog stand, but I'm not buying a hot dog, And
I myself even support a few people on Patreon, and they're not, I mean, sometimes they produce content strictly for Patreon and patrons, but they also just,
But it's not like an a la carte or a premium. You were paying a reoccurring monthly theme to this person, or fee, not theme, to this person, so that they can continue to do whatever they have promised you.
Like whatever they,
But for him to say it's 100% independent, I don't necessarily agree with that. Now,
since he's the developer.
Well, yeah, whoever they are, I'm not sure. But it is a he. They mentioned that later in the article.
Yeah, they did mention he.
If his Patreon was K's M&R makes video game ROMs and hacks or whatever, and that's what people are supporting him for, then I don't necessarily agree that his Patreon donations are, quote, 100% independent of Super Mario Online, because he probably mentioned that he was making it. People were probably supporting him at least partially because they wanted to see the game come to fruition.
Probably because of that.
Yeah. So whether or not Nintendo has the right to take it down, first of all, they absolutely do. Say whatever you want about whether or not it's okay. Project, so it is legally sound. They can absolutely do it.
Let me rephrase. It's not their own project, but they own the rights to Mario, so they can take down wherever the hell they want.
Right. Now, whether or not they should have done that, that's open to debate. I don't agree with him saying the donations are 100% independent of the game, though. I don't.
I have to agree on that one. This reminds me of last year we had AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Which that took 10 years of development by one dude, as far as I'm aware.
Well, was it like Pokemon Uranium or whatever too that they were working on forever, and then?
Yeah, and they took it down, and they didn't have a Patreon, as far as I'm aware. They didn't have any donations, nothing like that. They just did it on their own. So yeah, this is a different situation where the guy was actually being funded.
And donations is another weird line, right? Of like, if I'm making this free-to-play game and it costs you nothing and you can download it for free, but if you want to donate, it's there. And then it's like, okay, they're technically making money, but is it because of... It's weird. It's this really weird...
Very, very weird. This is... Do we have any lawyers in here? Please?
Yeah, and I remember this is basically... I took business law last semester, and this is basically the kind of stuff you talk about all the time in there, of where is the line. And what my takeaway from the class, I didn't do great in the class, but my takeaway from the class at the end of the day was a different judge or jury or intellectual property lawyer would probably view it differently than other people. So, it's there's never a perfect answer. But I do think it is within Nintendo's right to do this. I don't think it's necessarily the nicest
the right thing to do.
Yeah, I don't think it's the best for PR, but it is legally sound. So
they own the property, so they can do wherever the hell they want with it. So yeah, and if you see someone making money off of this, then yeah. And it also says later in the article that the source code and ROM hack files are still available for Super Mario 64 online.
Yeah, I mean, that's the internet.
Yeah, it's the internet. I mean, like I said, AM2R, it's still up online, so you can get it.
Oh wait, hang on. I didn't understand what you were saying. It's still on the main site.
It's still on the... No. It is?
Still available through the Super Mario 64 online site.
Oh, okay. Huh, that's odd.
That's interesting.
Well, maybe they just took that as Patreon then, I guess. Okay. It's not as bad as
That seems real
look.
backwards. I assumed they would hit the site before his Patreon because we assume his Patreon has to do with other projects that aren't related to Nintendo.
Yeah, it's true, but at the same time, like I said before, if he's saying if he's doing ROM hacks and stuff, then and this is clearly a ROM hack of Superman 64, Super Mario 64. Then, yeah. How would you like if we had
this
like
whole thing feels shady to me. I just don't like this.
It does look a little shady. How would you like it if there was an online version of Superman 64?
Everyone just logs off all at once. That's
No. It's like you see people awkwardly fly from like this to whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
And there's player collision. She's like, oh no, it took me 20 minutes to get through this darn ring. And yeah.
If we ever meet in person and just like hang out and play a bunch of video games, I want to play Superman 64 with you.
It's so bad. Why do you want to play? You do this.
Just
you're like, oh, this game is terrible. I'm gonna buy a copy and play it when I get home. And I'm like,
I have a copy because why not?
I personally,
the game itself is like.
I'm not of the opinion that bad games are like bad movies. I can watch a bad movie and have a good time, but if you're playing a bad game, it is really hard to enjoy that.
That's true, but at the same time, if you have a group of friends and,
Yeah.
Superman 64 is not fun to play alone. It's fun to play with a bunch of dumbass friends for about 10 minutes, and that's it.
Right.
The game is not fun whatsoever.
Well, I'm glad it was worth a
But it's fun. It's fun to laugh at.
I'm glad
the
that
game
instead
itself
of
is about
investing your money, you spent it on a copy of Superman 64 so that when you're bored, you can play it.
The game is $5 at most,
Okay.
So...
Well, with interest, $5 could be
much.
like $20 like 10 years from now.
I did buy the game about 4 years ago, so...
Okay. Lesson
There's
learned.
that.
You could have $20 right now.
Lesson learned. I get... That's true.
Okay.
Watch my game collection's like value falls down. I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway,
theoretically, it's only going up, right? So long as they don't reprint things.
Depending on the game that I have, in my collection. Like the most expensive game I had in my collection, I sold it because of school, because money issues.
Dead Space.
It was a copy. No, it was a copy of Sword Quest Waterworld for the Atari 2600. It was boxed. I found it at a swap meet for $10, and I sold it for $320 on eBay.
It's almost $330. That's a really good turnaround. You made a profit there. You made a 33 times profit.
I had the game for a little while. I had the game for about a year though, because I didn't know what to do with it at first because I didn't have an Atari and I didn't have any way to test it to see if it was real or not. But at the same time, then I knew the box and all the contents were at least worth, way more than that. So
right. That's awesome.
Way more than $10. So yeah. Anyway,
catching up with the chat. Sam says, I just love talking 16-year-olds through what life is supposed to be and telling them if they have time while they fight me on it the entire time. That sounds stressful. Hopefully everybody's okay, Sam. Eldon says, hello, everybody. How's it going, Eldon? Eldon says, what life? Oh, wait, no, we got to read these in order. Sam says, I'm so done with being hit on by 16-year-olds. They need to go back to daycare. I mean, they're almost 17, which is almost 18. But
it's true.
Hang on. No, take that joke back. That ended up sounding really weird. They're underage. Don't flirt with them. I didn't mean to make that sound like, no, they're underage. That's absolutely not okay, of course. I was just making my usual joke of this number is almost this number, which is almost this number. I didn't mean to imply.
Nostal, why don't you take a seat right there? Why don't you take a seat?
I'm taking a seat.
My name's Chris Hansen.
You're Chris Hansen? I've seen Chris Hansen, though.
Welcome to Dateline.
What if they started doing podcasts? They pretended to be a guest for a random podcast, and it was actually online To Catch a Predator episodes. And it's like, hey, didn't he go on like Kickstarter recently to fund a new season?
Chris Hansen?
Yeah, to fund a new season of Catch a Predator. Didn't that happen? Hang on, Wombo, you entertain the folks.
Didn't that happen? Catching up with the chat. Yeah, but telling them that. Okay, we already read that. Eldon says, "I'm fantastic today. Had a fun weekend overall." That's nice, Eldon. I had a pretty decent weekend myself. I had work on Saturday. I've been playing a lot of the Kingdom Hearts HD collection that came out on the PS4. It was on sale at GameStop, so I figured, might as well. I've been enjoying Kingdom Hearts 1 a lot. I'm tempted to play all the games that came on the Kingdom Hearts HD collection. I've already played beforehand, with the exception of Chain of Memories. I've only played Chain of Memories for the Game Boy Advance. So yeah, how's that To Catch a Predator information coming up?
Hansen vs. Predator was successfully funded on Kickstarter with 1,220 backers for a total of $89,068. It
Huh. I'm
premiered.
guessing that
Hang on. What happens to the bad guys
Wumbo.
after the show? As one of the FAQs. Each perpetrator is subject to local law enforcement.
Okay. Wumbo. Wumbo, tell me, how'd you get your name? Well, SpongeBob mainly. He used M for Minnie, and instead, I used W for Wumbo. That's how I got it. But seriously, though, I my love for SpongeBob. That's the reason why I call myself Wumbo. So
Episodes were distributed to backers and may later go to television.
really, okay. So they're
Shout
probably
out
just
to
going to
Chris
push
Hansen, man.
Shout out to Chris Hansen. Yeah, he's probably going to push it for TV. Maybe who knows where it will lead off to.
Okay.
Huh. When was this Kickstarter, by the way?
2015. The last update was about a year ago. So.
Oh, all right. Well, at least it was funded. So,
Yeah.
how many episodes were there?
I don't know. Didn't say.
All right.
I'm glad you had a good weekend, Elton. At least we know for many. We are adults. Why are we still making SpongeBob jokes?
Because we can't adult.
This is true. This is quite true.
That's true. That's true. All right. Do you have anything else to say about the Super Mario 64 online debacle?
I don't.
Me neither. All right. Dude, let's move along. This is kind of a short thing to like something that's going to be coming out next. I guess this Thursday. Red Dead Redemption 2 teaser points to new news next week.
Okay.
Or this Thursday. Yeah, we're going to be getting a new trailer or something like that. Thursday, September 28th at 11 a.m. Eastern time or 8 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to possibly get a new trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2, which, needless to say, I'm very excited for. I played the ever-living crap out of Red Dead Redemption, played a little bit of Undead Nightmare, but I thought it was okay. Didn't think it was anything too special, except for all the little monsters and stuff that you could collect, like the unicorn and the four horses, the apocalypse.
Okay. Do you think we get story details?
Maybe. I mean, we're obviously not going to be playing as John Marston because, spoilers, Red Dead Redemption, if anyone hasn't... I mean, the game is about 7 years old. But
No, I want to interject here. I have heard rumors this might be a prequel.
In that case, then yeah, you can play as John Marston probably as his group of if I remember correctly, his group of like his gang essentially.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be kind of cool. Either that, or he could be playing as his son.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, with how the first game ends, that could. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah. Have you played Red Dead Redemption at all, Nostal?
I haven't. I know the story. I know the big moments. Rockstar's never been my developer. There is something inherently about Rockstar games that feels very, very dirty to me. And I don't mean dirty as in like they're a bad company or it's a bad developer. I don't mean that at all. I just mean the worlds they build are very dirty. They're very grim, and there is a lot of bad stuff going on. And I just feel very like I need to go take 4 showers whenever I go play GTA. It's like I just don't like this world.
It's a game that's an over-exaggeration of what's...
Are you online?
Excuse me.
Almost dead, everyone. I'm taking the reins now. And we're going to talk about Pokemon 24/7. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything against Rockstar as a developer, but again, it's games that I just never really liked the atmosphere of. I like games that make me... No, you're fine. I like games with, immersive worlds that make me feel happy or make me feel... It's like I'm escaping to things that aren't real. And this is like, hey, the worst parts of real life that you've seen? This is just the whole world. That's all.
Well, the point of Grand Theft Auto, at least in general, is a over-exaggeration of the worst parts of our society and over-exaggeration of violence and the media and so on and so forth. We see terrible things that you do.
Wumbo's dead, everyone. Wumbo!
Everybody.
Oh, you came back. That's never happened
What?
before. You died and then you came back. I assumed the call got dropped. You came back from beyond the grave.
Well, my mom... Well, did I die?
Yeah, for like 10 seconds. And I assumed we were going to have to relaunch the call and do this.
I heard you like gasped. I gasped. I was like, what?
That's never once happened. The call dropped and then it found its way back. It's like you, you got shot by like a Native American.
I'm back from the dead, bitches.
And then you were like going towards the pearly gates, and I was like, "No, Wumbo, come back. We have to finish the episode." And you're like, I'm sorry, all of my departed relatives and friends and people, but I have to go finish gaming, etc. And then you came back and got back into your body, and you got back up and you kept going. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Uh, Party says, "Hey, fucking nerds, what's up?"
Hey, party.
I'm doing pretty well, Smart Lord. How are you doing, Party?
Yeah. So, are you
What I was
excited
trying to
for
say.
Red Dead?
Oh, definitely. What I was trying to say beforehand, before the Google Hangout gods told me to leave.
They banished
Am I
you.
still?
They
Am I still alive? Oh,
they
they banished
smited
me.
you from the realm.
Anyway, Grand Theft Auto is essentially a. It's a little hard to explain, but it's just an over-exaggeration, or it's an over-exaggeration of the worst parts that we have in society, or at least in American society.
Right.
The overuse of violence, capitalism, and so on and so forth. I could be reading a little bit too deep into it, but at the same time, there's a little bit of symbolism in Grand Theft Auto. And
no, for sure.
Course,
And for the record, my criticisms of it are not criticisms of the game. It is criticisms of my own feelings when playing the game. It is I don't like how the game makes me feel. That does not mean it is a bad game or there's anything technically or even thematically wrong with it. It's just I don't enjoy playing it.
Like I said, before I got cut out, Grand Theft Auto is not for everyone.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. And for Red Dead Redemption, I would say, aside from like a few missions, there aren't really missions that make you feel dirty. You're more the hero or not Grand Theft Auto, in Red Dead Redemption. You're more the hero if anything.
You can be just a terrible person though.
You can be, or you can do terrible things too. And not every single Rockstar game makes you feel like a terrible person. There's also. Okay, but Bully, you can't kill people in Bully. You basically are just the school bully, but you eventually
take. How crazy
take
would it be if in Bully you could just straight up kill kids? How insane would that be?
That would be like instant. Rockstar would like be in deep trouble if that happens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a reason why there are no kids in Grand Theft Auto. A good reason too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that.
I was also going to mention LA Noire. Which you do get fined if you run over people.
Well, that's good. You can't let people who run over people not have to pay some sort of financial repercussion for it.
Not just that, but like it basically affects your like. There's some bad repercussions too, because it does affect your actual score for the your score for the case, and that also if you get like a high enough score for your case, you get ranking up and up and up. And you also leads to achievements and stuff. Okay. So basically, they don't encourage you running over people.
Wombo, I'm introducing for the first time ever a new segment here on Gaming, etc. And that is where, free of charge, we pitch ideas to developers who may be watching. And they can take the ideas and run with them. No royalties, no copyrights, nothing. Just take the idea and go make a game with it. And I'm
done with this one.
The idea is it's a game that you have to play in real time. There is no accelerated time progression. It is 1-for-1 to the real world. If you put an hour into the game of your life, 1 hour goes by in the game with a 24-hour day-night cycle. So it's or 12-hour day-night cycle, I guess. So same like our
install. That game already exists.
What's the game?
Animal Crossing.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying do like a GTA style game that has real-time progression, and so if you get arrested, you have to go spend 10 years of your life in-game time in jail. And if you have to go on a vacation or whatever, you have to spend 2 weeks on vacation.
That would be stupidly realistic.
Yeah. I'm basically just pitching real life the game. That's what I'm.
Real life. So the Sims.
Yeah, but don't get audited because that's bad. That was the community.
Actually, I would like to see this concept.
It's a really good idea, but it would not be good in execution.
Or no. Just this idea of the show in general. Just name some random idea that we have on the top of our heads in a game. I'll think of a name for this segment.
I've been listening to a podcast lately. I think it's called Story Break, and it's basically done by Rocket Jump, so Freddie Wong's production company. And they have an idea, and they have to, in 1 hour or less, write a rough outline for the movie of that idea. So, for example, Flow from Progressive. They try and write the Flow from Progressive movie. The Jar Jar Binks movie. They wrote the Jar Jar Binks movie, which was phenomenal, by the way. If anyone has a chance, go listen
Really?
to that episode. It's incredible how good of a job they did.
Okay.
But
Um,
it's kind of like that.
I
Just take an
al-
idea and just
okay. I also listened to. Speaking of podcast, have you ever heard of a YouTuber called? His name is Gregory Raffle Smith, I think.
I have not. I've heard of Gregory
He's
Smith,
an
aka Chemical TTV.
aka Chemical TTV. He's known on YouTube for like making a lot of really weird segments. So what the hell is it called? I'm described to this man. He basically he does a bunch of movie analyzes a bunch of movies, franchises, and where they're going, and how Hollywood today is kind of like a little weird,
That's
and
kind of
how
cool. I like that.
yeah, no, it's a really nice movie channel. And he also just did a podcast with a friend of his, which hopefully they expand on because it was actually a really funny episode, where basically how they would quote unquote fix the Star Wars Episode 1.
Oh, Phantom Menace?
Yes.
I can fix Phantom Menace in 10 seconds. It's retconned. There you go. Never happened. Write it out of the lore. Didn't
Okay.
exist.
They said no. They said directly. They said directly. Okay, you can fix Phantom Menace. Just you have to make it.
Dude, like Disney already nuked the EU and just said none of that's real.
They
Why
did
not
say-
just
they
do
did-
that to the prequels? They have the
did-
power.
No, you have. They did nuke the EU series, but they have to keep the prequels. Unfortunately, they mentioned the Sith in Episode 7,
But they
That's
don't.
all they're-
They don't
They
have
do.
to. That's
They
the thing.
mentioned the
They
Sith,
have
and
the
that's about-
power. They have complete creative and intellectual freedom to do whatever they want with it. They can just nuke whatever parts of the continuity they want.
What if they remake the prequels though?
But you don't need to. That's the thing, is they were telling a story that didn't need to be told. That's the thing.
That's also true. Or maybe they just remake the prequels, but they do like Episode 1, 2, and 3, one movie, because really the story for Episode 1, 2,
Well,
and 3 is just kind of.
Let's say, because I mean, Disney, like anyone else, is a company. They want to sell things, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's how business works. I would rather they remake it than just leave it alone. But I don't think you need those movies. I think if you have an idea, if someone has a vision to tell a story in lieu of or as a remake of the prequels that's compelling and good and makes sense for this universe, then tell it. But
First order of business: no Jar Jar Binks.
or do something with Jar Jar that's like, oh, we're going to take this one-dimensional, terrible character that doesn't fit with anything, doesn't match any of the surrounding lore, world, or other characters in the cast, and actually do something with them. But you don't just have something there to have it, you know?
I remember in Gregory's a podcast, all he said was replace Jar Jar Binks with Tom Waits, and all Tom Waits does is like,
Okay, hang on. Wumbo died again, but he might come back from the grave. Wumbo, reach out your hand, my friend. I'll pull you back into reality. Here we go. Wumbo, come back. Come back to us. Come back, Wumbo. I'm trying to pull him back from the brink, and it's not going well. Oh no. Wumbo. Come on, buddy. No, he's gone. He's dead. It's over. I failed this city. We'll get him back on the line, folks. Give us just 1 second. I'm getting this all worked out. In the meantime, what's your favorite Jar Jar Binks memory? My favorite is the time when Boba Fett just brutally murdered him over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Didn't happen, but in my mind it did. I've imagined it so many times, it just feels real at this point. We're getting him back on the line, folks. Hang on. You were the only one here in the call. Story of my life. You're the only one here. Story of my life. Wumbo's back. I don't think I can hear him, though. Wumbo, can you make noise? Nope, we got nothing, bud. Got nothing. Okay, well, we'll have to call again. We're getting it worked out, everybody. My favorite is the alarm clock that you sleep with. I don't sleep with an alarm clock, so joke's on you. I have an alarm on my phone, and I don't take my phone to bed with me. So ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Joke's on you, party. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Joke. Ha ha ha. Okay. Wumbo's video calling me. Oh, Wumbo. Okay, I can see your face. I can't hear noise, though. Why did it do this? Why? I'm all out of love.
Can you hear me
Hey, I
now?
can hear you. Okay, hang on.
Thank God. Yeah, no. Both of us kept coming in and out. That's why.
I tried to bring you back to life, not unlike I did the first time.
But it didn't work.
Didn't work. No. Okay, you're back.
I cut out when I said Tom Waits, right?
Yeah, it was like Jar Jar Binks to be replaced with Tom Waits, and then it cut out.
Yeah,
I tried to pull you back from the brink of death, and it didn't happen.
As I was trying to say, Gregory says in his podcast, he replaced Jar Jar Binks with Tom Waits, and all Tom Waits does is like point Jar Jar or points Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi to the palace, and that's it. Because that's all Jar Jar did.
We're over time, but let's just do this. Let's think about this. Okay. Here we go.
We're actually
Here
going
we
to
go. We're gonna do this.
How about this? How about this?
Nope, we're doing it right now. We're jumping in. What does Jar Jar actually do? Let's think of the original, or not the three prequels to Star Wars.
He shows them where he shows them where the underwater palace is, and that's about it.
He takes them to the Gungan city underwater.
He beats up a couple droids at the end of the movie.
No, not relevant. Anyone could have done that.
Anybody could.
Of consequence, he introduces them to Boss Nass, and Boss Nass's army stands against the droids and buys them enough time to destroy the droid control ship up in Naboo's orbit. So technically, Jar Jar is essential to the plot of Phantom Menace. Now,
at the same time, though, Jar Jar overstays his welcome. He's bad. He's just bad comedic timing, and I mean, he's essential, but he could be replaced by fucking anybody.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been that anybody from the Gungan City was like, "Oh, I'm strolling up out of the water, man. There's a lot of things trying to kill us here. Maybe we should fight them."
No. Yeah, you're something like fucking Don Knotts as Jar Jar Binks.
There you go. Yeah, I like
it. Instead of Misa, you just hear, "Oh, awesome." I don't know.
Man, I crawled up out of the ocean to see if it's Groundhog Day yet, and there's people trying to kill me. Maybe we should fight them. You know, it's like Jar Jar doesn't really need to be there if you think about it. Just have one of those giant fishes poke their head up.
And put it over Jar Jar Binks.
That sounds like a lot. But
take an audio from Gaming Etc. Just put it over Jar Jar Binks.
And then, if it wasn't bad enough, Jar Jar is made senator of Naboo. He represents an entire planet in the Galactic Senate.
He only has like a short scene in episode 2, and he doesn't say shit. He's only seen one small scene in episode 3.
Obi, it is so good to see you, son. And he's like, good to see you too, Jar Jar. And he's like, Senator Padman. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in episode 3, you only see him for like one scene.
True story. I sent away frosted mini wheat UPC codes to get my copy of the Phantom Menace.
Really?
Yeah, they're running a
promotion. Was it VHS, DVD?
I want to say it was DVD. I think.
Okay. Be easy to ship.
I think it was like
VHS.
early DVD. I think that was like one of the first DVDs that my family got. But it was like if you get like 12 frosted mini wheat UPCs and you cut them out and you mail them in, they'll mail you a copy of Phantom Menace.
Okay. What if you shipped 11 instead of 12?
Then they're like, no, this isn't good enough. They send you back a diorama of Jar Jar Binks.
Better.
That's pretty cool. All right.
Okay. Do you want to? Yeah, we will catch up on the chat. Can someone say something in the chat, please? Because my chat cut out.
I got your back, Wumbo.
Bella.
There you go.
Party's saying fucking nerds, which yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, it's not updating on the send, so I have two chats open, one from the all bunch of other crap.
No, we don't have
Apparently
anything.
Bella is calling everybody a hottie.
Thank you.
Or party, I'm sorry.
I know you said it to everybody just so it wouldn't make me feel like I was being singled out. I know you were talking about me, Party. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you to say. More hot ladies that are well balanced. That would be the worst selling game. What? More hot ladies that are well balanced? Why don't we just have characters that are well balanced? Just everyone's well balanced.
Sam says Jar Jar Binks is an abomination. And
confirmed.
And
this is true.
And Party says I misread that as abortion.
Also true. No.
Also true. Also true. I can't argue with that.
Common Rising Wombo from Perdition. Is that like Purgatory? Because we all know where Wombo's
Purgatory.
headed.
Purgatory.
Is Perdition like Purgatory? Is that the same thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just go with it.
Okay. They were talking about a vibrating alarm clock, at which point I said, joke's on you, I don't sleep with an alarm clock. I put an alarm on my phone, and my phone's not even next to my bed or in my bed. It's over on my desk.
Then you are a light sleeper, sir.
I am 100% a light sleeper.
I'm a deep sleeper, man. I need an alarm.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm absolutely a light sleeper. Shows you emoticon, see rises. Yes, brother. The fire rises. No one cared who I was until I put on the mask. Oh, you think darkness is your ally, but you merely adopted the dark.
Me out, bud.
True story. I was playing Batman Arkham Asylum last night, and we fought Bane. And the whole time, he was trying to say lines, and I was like, no, shut up. I can do your lines way better than whoever they got to come in and voice Bane for Arkham Asylum. I just do my Tom Hardy.
What if it was Tom Hardy?
There's no way. It sounded like he was saying like Buja or Bruja. He's like saying Bruja all the time. It's like, dude. Because I know traditionally Bane's like a Spanish wrestler. But Tom Hardy's portrayal of Bane was just so off the charts that I think we should just nuke the Batman continuity and just have that be the definitive Bane. As far as that. Second true story in the same vein as the first true story. I hung out with RJ this summer. And within the first 10 minutes of us being together, I was like, hey, is it cool if I just quote Bane all day? And he was like, no, do not do that. And then I continued to do it for the whole day. And he got very mad at me. So we'd be like
oh, man.
walking into Starbucks, and I'd be like, oh, you think darkness is your ally. And that's the true story of how RJ tried to murder me. But anyway, sorry, we're way freaking down the rabbit hole.
We're way off the kill and overtime. We have one more story, then we have stuff to say. So
okay, that was my fault. I apologize. This is a good show, though.
No, I don't care, man. I don't care. Just
light is a drug in the chat. What's been happening? What is this? This is the Gaming Center podcast every Saturday and or Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We sit down and talk about games.
I like Sam, who says it's the worst talk show you've ever seen. Thank you, Sam.
That's awesome. That can be our tagline.
Thank you. Yeah, at least. Yeah.
How many times have I heard you do that bit in the last 2 weeks? Oh, you think darkness is...
Make it stop! Make it stop!
You merely adopted the dark.
Make it stop! God damn it.
Molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was a man, and by then it was nothing to me but blinding. That's where he grabs him by like the throat. And like break. Can you believe that he just takes Bruce Wayne, the Batman, this symbol of power and strength, and just snaps him over his knee? That was just like, that was insane.
Not just that, but can you believe that Bruce Wayne fixes back in the prison cell?
Yeah, that was pretty weird. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Dark Knight Rises has some big plot holes, but I still like that movie.
No. Dark Knight's clearly the better movie.
87 even on Metacritic. Dark Knight Rises.
Which is still pretty good. I saw that movie in theaters, and I was a little bit confused.
Yeah, I mean, there were plot holes, but I just explain it as, well, he's Batman. Batman doesn't have to explain everything. He's just, that's his superpowers. He's Batman.
True. All right, do you want to catch up on the last story we have?
Sure.
And then go into the
Thank
topic?
you for the IGN article, by the way. I appreciate that.
Welcome. A Rare studio head returning to old franchises would be the worst thing to do for Rare. Or the worst thing for Rare to do, which is a little strange considering that a lot of their older franchises are extremely well known, especially on the N64. Okay. So, but I do get their point. They don't want to. Well, okay, we'll go into the article a little bit. Return to old franchises would be okay. That's just what Craig Dunham or Duncan, the lead studio head over at Rare, says right there in an interview with DK Vine. Okay, Duncan explained that Rare is not interested in revisiting some old franchises like Banjo-Kazooie and Conker, which is a bit of a shame because Conker's Bad Fur, they only really had like a remake.
Now, to be fair, when they say revisiting, are they just talking about remasters/remakes, or are they talking about
it's
sequels?
Hard to say.
Okay.
I think all they're talking about is remasters here, which in that case, there already does exist remasters of Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day. So
what
really,
up, Yooka-Laylee?
we're not asking. Yooka-Laylee is made by
X. A spiritual successor, yeah.
Yeah, which is made by ex Rare employees. Which, by the way, Rare of today is way different from Rare of early of
What's the last thing Rare put out that wasn't Rare Replay?
Killer Instinct and connect characters and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Rare. I'm not gonna say it's a shell of its former self, but at the same time, it kind of seems that way, you know.
Yeah, I think first of all, I like this, and here's why.
No,
I appreciate that they don't want to be a backward facing company. I appreciate that
no, of
they're
course not. They
saying
want
our
to.
best days are still ahead of us, and we don't want to always be known only for what we've already done. We want to be known for the things that we
Of
still have
course.
yet to do. I think that's great. That said, we need to see what it is that they're going to do next because right
Yeah,
now,
because
you know,
Sea of Thieves has been in development for God knows how long. It's been show off at E3 2015, 16, and 17, right?
was it really? I didn't even know it was that many. Okay. Do we have a release date on Sea of Thieves yet?
I don't know. I keep seeing. I think it's supposed to be coming out this year or maybe early next. Wikipedia, help me.
Okay. Well, according to the IGN video, it will feature crossplay.
Okay, which I know it's supposed to see if these release dates. I know it's supposed to. All it says is 2018.
Okay.
That's it. So
All right.
whatever. As I was trying to say, yeah, crossplay between PC and Xbox One. So there's that. I like the concept of Sea of Thieves. I like how they're laying with a cartoony approach, like earlier Rare games. And I'm glad to see that they're making more new or not newer things. I'm glad to see that they're releasing newer things or planning to release newer things and not just sticking to the past. But at the same time, they're well known for Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong Country, which obviously they can't remake.
Just to clarify, crossplay is only between Windows 10 and Xbox One.
Yes, I know that.
Okay. I didn't know, so I said that in the video.
Okay. So I'm glad to see that they're focusing on their newer franchises rather than that. And plus, we already have Rare Replay, which is essentially just all of Rare's games that they can legally release
Okay.
through Microsoft. So
I mean, Rare was not my thing. I played Rare games here and there, but it was not my developer growing up. So I don't have this emotional connection to Rare that I think a lot of people do.
well, I mean, the only emotional connection I really have with Rare games is maybe the first Banjo-Kazooie
Yeah.
and definitely the Donkey Kong Country series. I played the ever-living crap out of all three of those on the GBA.
Were you not a Conquer guy?
I learned about Conquer afterwards. I haven't actually played Conquer's Bad Fur Day, mainly because copies of that game is expensive, but
Okay.
I'm interested in playing it.
All right.
Certainly interested in playing it.
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Sea of Thieves here as we get more and more news as
Definitely.
the release gets closer. I mean, yeah, just to sum up my thoughts, I like that they are looking towards the future, but I think they need to put their money where their mouth is. So
Definitely, because all we have is just concepts and some gameplay of Sea of Thieves, and that's about it for their newest game. And hopefully, Microsoft doesn't, push them off after Sea of Thieves. If Sea of Thieves isn't successful, hopefully Microsoft still keeps Rare,
okay.
because this
So they
seems
don't
like
own Rare, correct? It's like a second party relationship.
they're a second. They do. They bought Rare actually. So.
Oh, did they? Okay. That's
Yeah, it's a
interesting.
second party company. It's like the HAL Labs of Microsoft, or I don't know, the Naughty Dog of
Well, Naughty Dog's first party.
you get my point.
Yeah.
They're only exclusively making it for Microsoft consoles and computers and such.
Okay. Well, best of luck, Rare.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Sea of Thieves.
Best
game
of
the
luck,
year.
Rare.
10 out of 10.
I'm certainly excited to see what Sea of Thieves will have to offer.
Okay.
Anyway, all right.
Question up in the chat. Sam says perdition is hell. Okay. RJ's the best.
Perdition.
Colin, I'll fight you. Will you ever stop? The shadows
We're making
betray
pizza tonight, and I'm very happy about
because
that.
They belong to me. Shout out to pizza. Big fan. Okay.
Big fan. Sorry for that ear rape, but I just Nostal. Stop.
What,
Nothing. Absolutely nothing at all.
Gotham, take back your city.
God damn it.
The city is yours. You're free to do as you please. But I'm gonna hold you hostage with this nuclear bomb for 8 months. Yeah.
Pause for a second. If fucking like Warner Brothers contacts you because they can't get Tom Hardy to do so, you could do like voiceover over Bane. Would you do it?
I for sure would do it, absolutely. But here's the thing. They're gonna say your parody's pretty close, but you need to talk to a voice coach because it's not at the caliber it needs to be at yet. And I'm gonna say no. You get the parody or you get nothing. Nothing, Wumbo. I do it as is. I'm gonna William Shatner it. I'm gonna walk in, give one take, and say, "That's your take. Use it."
Does William Shatner actually do that?
I think I heard somewhere that he does that.
Okay. All right. All right. Are you ready for the topic-ish?
I was born ready. You want me to put your footage up?
Oh, of course. All right. Tonight's topic for gaming, etc., is games that we want to see re-released in HD. Now, the reason why we did this in the first place because I've been playing a lot of the Kingdom Hearts HD or 1.5/2.5 HD remix. Long name, I know, but
no
it's
one
actually
knows how Kingdom Hearts names work. It's fine. Just keep going.
it's weird, I know. Long name, but it comes with Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, Chain of Memories, Birth by Sleep, and a couple of movies relating to past games, which I've been enjoying a lot of, and it got me thinking, why are some other franchises that I know of that have been sort of not forgotten, but just like, why isn't there an HD re-release of this?
Sure.
So it could be easier for some people to play. Now, the game I chose right here, which I actually have a copy of, Shenmue for the Sega Dreamcast. Originally released in 1999 and released in America in 2000. Shenmue was basically one of the pioneers for open world adventure games, with a mix of RPG stuff and fighting game mechanics from like Virtua Fighter. This is a very, very odd game, to say for certain, but it's a very ambitious game, especially for its time. And you can see that in the graphics that the game, for its time, looks great, especially for a console. And this was released on the Sega Dreamcast. And the lighting engine that they pulled off on the Dreamcast is great. Character models and basically what their reactions were, for the time, once again, looks great. Obviously doesn't look good right now.
And this is what year that this came out?
It came out in 1999 in Japan, 2000 in America.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The game spans 4 discs. And 3 discs, technically. The 4th disc is called the Shenmue Passport.
Oh, so that when you're going to other countries, you can be like, "Hey, sir, who doesn't want to talk to me and whose job is to be very mean." Yeah,
it's the Shenmue Passport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to get flagged and pulled out of the line and frisked because they're going to assume you're a terrorist. But that wasn't a commentary on Japanese culture. They're looking for any reason to take you out and frisk you. I just don't like the TSA. Sorry.
No, that's a rant for another day.
Rant for another day. Keep talking about Shenmue, Wumbo. You're doing great.
All right, Shenmue. The reason why I want to see this, do you want to hear the plot for Shenmue?
I would love to hear the plot for Shenmue.
All right, you play as a guy named Ryo Hayabusa?
Sure.
I forget how to... I don't know. I butchered his last name. You play as Ryo, who essentially, he is a student at his father's dojo, essentially, a well-known fighter, essentially. And basically, he was killed by this one random dude of the Dragon Clan? Okay, I have played this game once through about a year ago, and then I kind of just stopped.
The Foot Clan.
The what?
The Foot Clan.
I guess, yeah, the Foot Clan. Yeah. And essentially, you're trying to figure out who killed your dad, and you want basically revenge over this. This game was one of the most expensive games to make of its time. Basically, funding for this game ranged from like $47 to $70 million on the Sega Dreamcast. Yeah, and although it did sell over 1 million copies, they did not make their money back, considering it's the goddamn Dreamcast, the system that failed miserably.
Right. I do want to.
The game was developed.
I mean, you have a exponentially more in-depth knowledge of this era of gaming than I do. That said, this looks very, very good for a Dreamcast game.
Oh, definitely. It's one of the best looking Dreamcast games. They advertise in the back here, they called it a magic weather system, basically a randomized weather system. You could have rain, you could have foggy. There is snow later in the game.
Does it apply to cutscenes or just gameplay?
Yeah, it does apply to cutscenes. The game was developed by famous Sega developer, the guy who made Space Harrier, Hang On, Outrun, Virtua Fighter, Daytona USA, Virtua Fighter, Virtua Cop, Virtua Racing. This guy is awesome. Yu Suzuki. This guy is legendary in terms of like Sega development. He is one of the reasons why Sega is well known.
He is to Sega as Tom Hardy's Bane is to the Batman franchise. Let's just to put it into perspective for some people who may haven't played this game, like myself.
I'm not going to say he is the Shigeru Miyamoto of Sega, but he is like one of the higher up, or he was one of the higher ups in Sega.
Okay.
or like higher up
So-
developers anyway.
So where do you come down on Shenmue 3 a couple E3s ago? Obviously, we got that announcement.
Yeah, of course, two E3s ago, which I was excited to hear, but at the same time, I didn't play the game. I knew of Shenmue, I have not played it. After playing through it, I did enjoy what I played, but at the same time, Shenmue is dated very, very badly. First off, the voice acting. Although this was a very expensive game to make, they kind of slacked in the voice acting. The American dub is pretty terrible.
Okay.
So, secondly, the controls, which, if I remember correctly, while playing through, you have to hold the left trigger just to run
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
while using the control stick, and also tank controls. So yeah, but I can't blame it too bad. Or I can't.
No, Wumbo. Come back, Wumbo. Everybody, just believe. Back from the brink of death, Wumbo. Come on, buddy. Come on. Yeah. Come on. No, he's gone. Come on, buddy. No, he's dead. He's gone. Okay, we're getting him back on the line, folks. Give us just a second here. In the meantime, no one cared who I was until I put on the mask. Oh, I was wondering which would break first. Your spirit or your body? Oh, Dr. Pavel refused our offer in favor of yours. We needed to find out why. Oh, you think darkness is your ally? I'm trying to get him back, folks. It's taking a minute. Hang on. We can see him. I mean, you guys can't see him. I can see him. I can't hear you though, bud. We're gonna get him back. In the meantime, let's see. What are more Bane quotes? Trying to think. I haven't seen Dark Knight Rises in a while. It's gonna take me a minute. When he's on the plane, there's that moment where he's like, "Or perhaps he was wondering why someone would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane."
There we go.
Oh, hi,
Sorry.
Mama.
Yeah. No.
I was doing my improvisation.
I know you were
on
doing
Dark Knight Rises
you were
moment.
doing your Bane impression to bring me back, which it worked. So
Okay.
anyway,
And they can now see. Cool.
oh, good. Sorry about that, guys. As I was trying to say beforehand, data controls, bad voice acting, and although the game looks great, I would love to see this game in HD.
Yeah, I mean, the fact
to
that
see this game.
I mean, I'm just repeating everything you're saying because I haven't played Shenmue, so I don't have almost anything to say about it.
I don't blame you. This game is definitely not for everybody. Here's the thing. Also, the game has like an active time setting where basically time goes by over. The game has an in-game timer.
Is it a 1-for-1 time setting like my proposed
It's
idea?
not 1-for-1. Like a day is maybe an hour. A day is maybe an hour in the game, or a little bit over that. I think 2 hours. Not fully certain.
I'm gonna throw a curveball for the game that I propose that somebody make. Every hour you play of the game is 1 minute in game time. So you need to play 60 hours of the game for 1 hour.
So what you're saying is
time.
1 minute is a second in the game?
Yes.
Oh God.
Here we go. Stick with me. It's a Flash game. And I don't mean Flash as in browser early 90s. I mean Flash as in the DC character, the Flash.
Oh.
Because you're processing time so quickly because of the Speed Force going through his system.
It seems a little bit more possible now. But at the same time, though, there'll probably be a lot of action sequences and stuff. But nevertheless, it sounds like a decent idea.
It's absolutely not decent, but that's okay. All right.
Okay, it's a terrible idea. Anyway, Shenmue, like I said, has an active time setting, and sometimes there are points where you're just standing around doing nothing because you were waiting for a certain time to happen so you could do something.
I feel like every game, any time progression.
Every game does that, but there isn't like a warp in time. Basically, you could warp a couple hours ahead so you could do this one thing.
Okay.
So.
That's fair.
Yeah, I will complain about that a little bit. The game itself, though, if you take some of its faults to mind, and especially for when it was made, this game is a very impressive game.
No, absolutely.
So
yeah. This is, I mean,
definitely.
For the era and the hardware they were working on, this is
Yes.
gorgeous.
And Shenmue was originally slated to have 14 chapters. Shenmue 1 covers the first chapter in the game's story. Chapter 2 was done in a manga slash comic that was released by Sega, but you can also see it in the Shenmue 2 disc.
Oh,
And
that's interesting.
chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I think chapter 7, I'm not fully sure, was released on Shenmue 2, which is for the Xbox for us Americans and the Dreamcast everywhere else.
So when
I
you're
have
talking
not.
about chapters, that's the manga?
I don't know. Yu Suzuki said that the game was supposed to be made into chapters, like the story was made into chapters, essentially.
Okay.
The first chapter was Shenmue 1, and then chapter 2 was the manga. Chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6, and I think 7 was Shenmue 2. Which Shenmue 2, like I said, exists for the Xbox.
So the manga acts
not-
as a bridge between Shenmue's 1 and 2.
Yeah, because in Shenmue 2, if I remember correctly, I have not played Shenmue 2. I've only seen a little bit of gameplay. You come off of a boat after a fight, basically from going to from Japan to China.
That boat actually
Which,
an oil rig, and when your character takes his mask off, you find out it's actually Raiden and not Snake.
Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, sorry, different game. Sorry, I was
Wrong game.
confused. Yeah,
wrong
sorry.
game.
Whoops,
Get out.
whoops.
Although they did come out the same year, I think.
Oh, did they really? Was
Keep that in mind.
2001 for MGS2?
Yeah, I think
That sound
Shenmue
right?
2 in America came out in 2002.
Okay, right around then.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on
Okay.
MGS2. I thought it was 2001, but I could be wrong.
It was 2001. Also, anyway, Shenmue, or recently, as in maybe an hour ago, reading over the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter, they will be remaking the Shenmue 1 into cutscenes. Not the gameplay, just the cutscenes.
It's better
Which
than
is a bit of a
nothing,
shame. But at the same time, I would like to see, an actual remake of the game. Maybe if Shenmue 3 is successful, then they would probably do a remake or a re-release of Shenmue 1 and 2, which I would like. So,
Okay.
if you have a Sega Dreamcast laying around, get this game. Although it's maybe around $40, so
Could be worse.
could be worse. Yeah, no, definitely an interesting game to play.
Okay.
Not going to
shout
say
out to
it's.
Shenmue. What'd you say?
Or you cut out. What did you say?
Oh, your audio's cutting out too. We might have bad connection. I just said shout out to Shenmue.
Oh, shout out! Thanks.
Because it's alliteration that does
yeah.
start with an SH.
Game is definitely not for everybody, but it's a fun. I thought it was a fun little game. Definitely a great, impressive game for its time.
Was it rated E for everybody?
No, it was rated T.
Okay. So if you're not at least 17, don't play this game.
17, no, 13.
If you're not at
T.
least 35 years old, Shenmue's not for you.
Then what you're saying is I illegally played Shenmue.
If you or someone you know has played Shenmue and was not at least 47 years old, consult your local
Okay, you
law
keep changing the
enforcement.
date. You keep changing the age now. What the hell?
I'm just going off the rails. My brain's broken.
I know you
It's
are.
been a
I know you
long
are.
week. I'm not sure how much I'm actually here, but I'm having a great time. Okay, but this looks good. I don't think I'll ever play Shenmue, but I appreciate that you and
Like I
people
said,
like it. And
It's not for everybody, so
Okay. Well, I'm going to hijack this and talk about my game for a couple minutes. My game
by all means.
is... It looks real pixelated after Shenmue. Like, I didn't... And the Shenmue we downloaded was off an emulator, and it was in HD, technically, so... it looks
okay.
even nicer. But this looks, comparatively to that, very bad. This is Star Wars The Clone Wars, or Star Wars Clone Wars. Just know the...
A game that you have talked about before.
Well, this is the first video game I ever beat in my life.
Yeah.
This was, I think, 2001, 2002, right around there. Maybe 2003? I don't know. Maybe this is pretty late. I don't know how things work.
If I remember correctly, you actually talked about this game a long time ago back in.
It might have been our
early
first
gaming,
episode or pretty
etc.
close to our first episode. This was...
It wasn't the very first.
Okay.
Maybe the first episode, or no, the first episode of Gaming Etc. We talked about Star Wars Battlefront and KOTOR.
Took me one whole episode before I started talking about KOTOR 2. Yeah, but this game I really enjoyed, and it came with the Xbox, so it was very much that feeling of, well, I don't have any other games, so I really hope I like this one when you first get a console.
So the same mentality of me with Uncharted 2.
Yeah, or I
It
guess
came with my PS3, so
more recently for a lot of people, Breath of the Wild, I assume, has been that game for a lot of people.
yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah.
this was cool. It's sort of a... You know, in hindsight, I'm not positive if this takes place before or after. Anakin, I think Anakin doesn't have his hand. So I think this is after. Attack of... I don't know. I don't know things. I haven't played this game in forever. But basically, Count Dooku's up to his old shenanigans, and he's pulling up pieces of this thing called the Dark Reaper. And what the Dark Reaper is, it's basically this giant mothership UFO-looking thing, but instead of being powered by electricity or power of some kind, it's powered by the dark side of the Force. And it was used by the ancient Sith when they originally were taking over the galaxy. And Count Dooku's resurrecting these pieces from the far corners of the universe to basically have this ultimate weapon in the Clone Wars. And so you meaning Anakin, but you also play as Obi-Wan a significant portion of the game, and Mace Windu once or twice.
That's cool.
Yeah, and you actually can play as Yoda in the multiplayer stuff, but you can't play as him in the campaign, I don't think.
It's weird that this is a first-person shooter, right? Or wait, this isn't a first-person shooter. This is third person.
It's third person, but it alternates between being on foot as a character and being in ships. So you have the I don't remember. It's the ATXT or whatever. The I don't Star. It's the I don't know the name. They're like the Republic ground tanks that are very, very fast, and they're sort of shaped like they have two prongs in front of them, and I don't know the name of it for the life of me. But you play as that for most of the time, and then you also play as like basically ATSTs. I don't know what the Republic version of those were called, but it's basically those. And then you play as Republic gunships and stuff like that. And it freezes here in the playback. I don't know why it did. I got to replay it now.
That's weird.
But
I was going to mention, I thought you talked about this game, but I was thinking of another Star Wars game where you play as clone troopers.
You're on Republic Commando.
Yeah, Republic Commando, which I still haven't played, which looks interesting.
It was interesting.
It's also on Xbox.
That was one of those games that I couldn't beat because just the difficulty spiked so quickly. It was like it's too easy, and I don't know why. I just have that memory, and obviously I was younger, but with a lot of Xbox games of like they were too easy until they weren't, and then they seemed impossible. But
that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this game is really cool. It has
Shenmue 2, very difficult.
Yeah, seriously. But it sort of acts as a nice bridge between episodes 2 and episode 3, because keep in mind, this is well before the Star Wars Clone Wars CGI cartoon. This was around the same time as the anime-style 5-minute episode.
The Jenny Tartakovsky's one.
Which I love.
Same guy who made Samurai Jack.
That one was freaking awesome. I still have the DVD of that. And
I haven't seen that in a very long time.
It's so good, man. And there's some dialogue, but it's like Samurai Jack. It's very influenced on action and what's happening as opposed to what people are saying. But this gives kind of a nice bridge between episodes 2 and 3, because in 3, Anakin's not in a good space, and he's pretty much right there to the dark side. That's obviously we see his final transformation. But that gap isn't necessarily totally fleshed out by the time we get to episode 3. So this acts as a really good companion piece to episodes 2 and 3 to show, oh wow, Anakin's been through some dark crap, and there's a lot of people who's like, he meets like the ghost of a former Jedi Master or something, and it's all.
So it's better than the Empire or the Emperor or Emperor Palpatine influenced me to become the basically influenced me to become Darth Vader rather than
right. Which is, I mean, that's a big part of his story.
It's adding on to the story.
But I think that's why the extended universe gravitates towards Clone Wars so often, is because that is a chunk of time where a lot of things happen to these characters that sort of flesh them out into their final forms that we see.
That's, I guess the EU is much better than the actual movies sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, I mean, what's EU nowadays? I still think Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2 is two
Knights
of
the Old Republic has
Star Wars interpretations ever. Not the best, but two.
Here's the thing. Knights of the Old Republic is like, what, 5,000 years after the events or before?
4,000. It's like 4,000 before. Yeah.
Okay. So it's still not ruled out as out of the series because,
Well, Disney ruled it out.
It's that far away.
They said, but then like the Old Republic, the MMO, is still being made. So like, I don't know how that works.
I don't know. I guess Disney has a thing with EA and BioWare, so.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
Anyways, I don't have that much else to say about this game. It's good for lore, good for gameplay. I played it with my dad when we first got our Xbox. That was a huge bonding experience for us.
I know it was this was a bundle with the original Xbox. This came also with like a tennis game, right?
So it was a disc that had technically 3, but really just 2. I gotta loop it again. The thing.
It had this, and I think a tennis game or a
It
Sega game, or a
had
Sega racing game.
it had Tetris on one side, or not one side, but you know what I mean. There was Star Wars: The
Yeah,
Clone Wars.
and
There was Tetris, and then there was a demo for Mech Assault, but you had to
yeah,
have
I
Xbox Live to play the demo because it was an online demo.
I working at the retro video game store that I work at, or at the retro video game store I work at. I usually see either this one, the Star Wars Clone Wars / Tetris pack, or the it was Sega Rally 2002 with a tennis game.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sega. But yeah, cool game.
Shout out
Play
to
it. HD remaster would be awesome. The cutscenes actually didn't look bad, but off of this 480p capture, it doesn't look great. We had to stretch it. For speed and everything,
I could see that.
But I do remember it looking a lot better because obviously at the time the hardware, that's
Definitely.
your brain sort of makes up for how bad a game was through memories because you didn't know what really good games looked like back then, or rather what modern games. You didn't know what a 2017 game looks like in 2002, so you remember it as looking a lot better than it actually did. And then you go back and you're like, oh man, this wasn't great. But yeah, I would love to see an HD remaster of this. Don't think it'll ever happen because this is dealing in a version of the Clone Wars canon that now sort of doesn't exist because they've kind of retold the Clone Wars canon now. But
also a little bit of research. The company Pandemic Software, who I have played some of their games, they're most known for, if I remember correctly, the Mercenaries 2, Destroy All Humans.
Destroy All Humans, good game.
Their Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 are the 2 biggest games. They're out of business. They've been out of business since 2009.
Well, and they don't necessarily need to be in business for them to remaster a game. They can just give it to a port house and just update it. But
yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, Wumbo, we got one last thing for the night.
Okay. Last thing of the night is a commercial for Final Fantasy 3, aka Final Fantasy 6.
How does that work?
Okay, in America, Final Fantasy 1, 4, and 6 came out, but they didn't call it Final Fantasy 1, 4, and 6. They call it Final Fantasy 1. Final Fantasy 1 was Final Fantasy 1. Final Fantasy 4 was Final Fantasy 2. And Final Fantasy 6 was Final Fantasy 3 in America.
But did they later re-release them?
They later re-released every single Final Fantasy. They just didn't they didn't release every single Final Fantasy at first. And then when Final Fantasy 7 came out in America, they're like, what the fuck happened to 4, 5, and 6? But nobody cared.
Have we standardized it now so that when people say 3, it's
definitely.
3 universally?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
because
cool.
You could get Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on Steam right now. So
okay, you can get 7.
There's absolutely
I have 7 on Steam.
Oh, and 7 and 8 and 9.
It was real hard to play though. I remember opening it once because I heard how good Final Fantasy 7 was, and it did not.
Oh yeah, just the Steam version of 7 has been relatively criticized a lot, especially for its soundtrack.
I just noticed the controls. I only put an hour or 2 into it, but yeah.
Okay. If you can, just play it off of original PS1.
Okay.
I
Well,
know
I
you
have
can't,
this
but
commercial.
okay. I have the commercial ready too. This is a very strange commercial for Final Fantasy VI. Now, I have actually played a little bit of 6, but not too much. I know the Moogles have something to do with it, but I guess you'll find out later. All right. Hit and play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Casting for Final Fantasy 3.
Okay, kid, show me what you got. Yeah, right.
Wait, does that mean he was good enough or not good enough? Oh, not good enough.
I have no idea.
Next. Ooh, scary.
Can you zap a ghost? Is that actually how that works?
I don't know. I mean, wait. You're saying you can't zap a...
Can you zap a ghost?
You can zap a ghost.
Can you?
Just look at Look at the Ghostbusters.
They didn't zap them though. They had proton
They
packs.
used that. They used zappers. They crossed the streams. They made the explosions.
Those weren't zappers. Those were like vacuums. Those are like.
There were vacuums that relayed electricity out of them. So they were vacuums with electric things. So they zap ghosts.
I don't know. A zap is like a discharge. It's like it's shooting it out, as opposed to a vacuum is sucking in. It's the opposite. I don't know.
And then for some reason they remade it and it sucked.
I didn't see the remake. But
just don't bother.
okay.
And that's not me being sexist because they're all women. It's just the writing's goddamn terrible.
Confirmed. Wumbo. Glorified
Wumbo is
sexist.
sexist, confirmed. Yeah,
Number
sure.
one sexist
sure.
on the internet. Which
Oh,
I think
definitely.
makes Gaming Etc. the number one sexist talk show on the internet. I think that's how that works. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not positive how number ones and number twos and all the numbers work, but I think that's how that works.
Sam even agrees. They totally zapped Ghost Nostal.
I don't think they did. I feel like, you know,
They zapped Ghost. Come on.
here's it's like the analogy of like if you remove all the water from someone's lungs, did you drown them? You know what I'm saying? Like you're taking all the
What?
water away. No, stick with me here. It's like I know what I'm trying to say, but there's no way I'm not gonna get this to a place where it makes
You're
sense.
lacking the energy to do it, which I don't.
No,
blame
it's
you.
not even that. It's that I have the right metaphor, and it's gonna sound really perverted, and so I can't make it. And so,
So it
it's
just,
like,
I know what you're trying to say. You're very thirsty.
no, that's not at all what I meant. But sure. Yeah, I feel like it's not the same thing. It's yeah, I can't think of an appropriate metaphor. So let's just leave it. I'll just be wrong. I'll just be
Sam
wrong.
says, Game Etc., the worst talk show you've ever seen. Number one blank
Darn right
talk
it
show
is.
on the internet.
Don't tell him that his Bane impression brought you back.
Darn right. I have to agree with that.
Wumbo, come back to me,
Yes,
brother.
Bane.
The fire rises. Your time is still needed in this realm, Anthony.
All right.
No, I'm just going to go.
You're trying to pick a fight with me. That doesn't sound like something I would do. Don't tell me it's impression. They totally zap Ghost. Didn't need to be made. I agree with that. Game Center, the worst talk show I've ever seen. The number one blank talk show on the internet. That's a really good motto. The number one blank talk show on the internet. Okay.
Yeah. Are we pretty much done with this episode?
Sure. Roll credits. Ba-dum-bum-bum, ba-dum-bum-bum. Okay. Yeah, this has been another episode of the Gaming Etc. podcast. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll be back in a little over an hour for Nostal's editing. I got to figure out what we're going to do for that, and I got to get some ramen as well. I'm going to have some ramen. Wumbo, where can
awesome.
people find you on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me on my YouTube channel, iWumbo223. You can find the previous episodes of Gaming Etc. on there. You could find my Twitter. And if you want to be a guest on the show, DM me or Nostal over on Twitters, or just ask us if you want to be a guest or not. And yeah, that's about it.
Also, exciting announcement. Wumbo and I are doing a Dark Knight Rises fan film, and we need people
No,
to
we're
audition
not.
for Bane because we're going to be too busy directing. So if you want to record a video of you doing your best Bane impression and tweet it to @iwumbo223 on Twitter, he's going to be sorting through them over the next couple weeks. So please, everybody, tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your cousins' friends. Record your best Bane impression and tweet it to @iwumbo223 on Twitter. He sometimes takes a long time to respond, so just keep sending it. Just tweet it to him 20, 30, 50 times just to make sure that he sees it. So and that's it. I think that's all we got.
Please don't.
that's all we
Please don't.
Okay.
Yes, brother.
No.
Yeah.
God damn it. Thank you guys for watching the Gaming Etc. podcast. Love everyone. God damn it, Nostal.
Yes, the fire rises.
Sorry. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
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 Goodbye, Wumbo. I hope you have a lovely evening tonight.